Welcome to Naresh Technologies. My name is Mahesh. I'm taking Java and Android classes in Naresh IT. Okay. So today in this session we'll discuss what is Android. Okay. So today in this session we'll discuss what is Android. We'll discuss. I'll get different answers for this question. Like some people will give the answer like it's an operating system. Some people says it's a technology, and some people gives its answer it's a platform. So different answers I'll get this question. So what is Android? Okay. So today in this session I'll try to give complete clarity on what is Android. Okay. So what it contains and all. So my definition of Android is a mobile platform. Android is a mobile platform. This mobile platform consists of three things. So one is operating system, middleware and key applications. This is the definition of Android. Android is a mobile platform which consists of operating system, middleware and key applications. So this is the definition of Android. So I'll try to justify this definition. So I mean what is operating system, what is middleware and what are the key applications. Okay. So I'll try to justify this definition with the help of Android architecture. So now here we'll discuss Android architecture. We'll discuss what? Android architecture. So basically if you take any electronic device, it may be a computer or a TV or a phone. If you take any electronic device, so basically the device consists of two components. The two components if you take any electronic device is nothing but, so one is operating system, so one is the software component, another thing is hardware component. If you take any electronic device, the device consists of these two components, the software component and the hardware component. The abstraction between these two components, the software component and the hardware component, is nothing but operating system is abstraction between the software component and hardware component. So if you take any electronic device, a computer or TV or mobile, if you take any electronic device, the device consists of what? Operating system. So my question is, why we required operating system? Like for example, we are using different operating systems like Windows, Mac, Linux, Unix, different operating systems are there, right? So what is the purpose of using the operating system? Okay. So the purpose of operating system is nothing but operating system is providing some functionalities. Like for example, in computer there is a hardware component called hard disk for storing the data, but we are not communicating directly with the hard disk. We are not communicating. With whom we are communicating? We are communicating with operating system. We are communicating. Operating system will communicate with what? That particular hard disk component to manage the memory. So one of the functionality of operating system, operating system is nothing but what? A memory management is one of the functionality of operating system. So memory management. So memory management is one of the functionality of operating system. Like this, it is providing some few other other functionalities. Like for example, at a time we can perform multiple operations. We can perform at a time. See, I'm working on Paint as well as a text document. Okay. So at the same time, you can open the internet. You can open the browser. You can open and you can perform some operations in the internet through browser. Okay. So at a time we can perform multiple operations. We can perform at a time. So meaning, who is providing that support to perform multiple operations at a time? So one of the functionality of operating system is nothing but resource management. We call as a process management, another name, technical name. So let's take a resource management is another functionality of operating system. Resource management, memory management, resource management. Next, so one more functionality of an operating system is nothing but driver management. For example, let's see a keyboard is an electronic device, right? So directly you can connect the keyboard to your computer and you can start working with the keyboard. Separately, you need to install any drivers for the keyboard because already the drivers are already available in the operating system. The same thing you cannot do with the printer. So separately we have to install the drivers for working with printer. Okay. So meaning by default with the operating system itself, you will get some drivers you will get by default with the operating system itself. So one more functionality of an operating system is nothing but what? A driver management. So driver management is another responsibility of operating system. Next, so one more functionality, if you see here, you can find the battery status here. For example, my computer battery, it's like 92% is remaining. Okay, I mean 80% of the battery is completed. Who is giving this information? Battery information. So operating system, right? So one more functionality of an operating system is nothing but what? Power management is one more functionality of operating system. So one more functionality of an operating system is nothing but what? Power management is another functionality of operating system. Okay, so like this, operating system is providing some functionalities. Okay, so for these functionalities, we require an operating system is required. So like as I said earlier, like Android is also an electronic device which contains a software component as well as hardware component. Definitely we need an abstraction in Android devices. So what is the operating system in Android devices? The operating system in Android devices is nothing but Linux is the operating system in Android devices. So what is operating system? Linux is the operating system in Android devices. Then I have a question here. Let's take, if you install a Linux operating system in your computer, it is going to take a 3 to 4 GB of space it will take if you install the Linux operating system in your computer. But as per our discussion, just now I told you, Linux is the operating system in Android devices. Okay. See, there are few devices in the Android market which is having the capacity of 1 GB or 2 GB storage device also available in the market. Come on boss, you said computer is going to take a 3 to 4 GB of space it will take in the computer to install the Linux operating system, but in the phone there are few Android devices which is having the 1 GB storage capacity. Even after installing the operating system and all, still you will get another 500-600 MB of free space you can find in the devices still. Okay, so how it is possible? In case of computer it is taking 3 to 4 GB of space. Here in case of mobile means it is taking only hardly a 400 to 500 MB of space it is taking. How it is possible is, see, Linux is mainly designed for the computer, it is not for the mobile devices, and we don't require the entire Linux operating system in the Android devices, right? Because mainly it is designed for the computer, not for the mobile devices. I hope you guys heard a term called kernel. So there is a term called kernel in operating system terminology, kernel. So kernel means nothing but a part of operating system. A part of operating system is called as what? Kernel. So here the operating system in Android devices is nothing but Linux kernel, meaning we are inheriting a few properties. I mean, Android is inheriting few properties, it is inheriting from the Linux. That's why we use a term called Linux kernel, not the entire Linux operating system. Okay, so in few places I found the definition of Android, this one, like Android is a Linux based operating system, and it is what? It's a Linux based operating system. Even that is also not the exact answer of Android. Okay, but the internally Android is working on what? Linux kernel is the operating system in Android devices. Okay, next, so we'll discuss the software component part. I mean, for building an application or a software, we require a programming language, right? We require a programming language is required. So now see here, for developing the Android applications, which programming language we use to develop the Android applications? Okay, because I heard a lot of technology names, I mean a lot of programming language names to develop these Android applications. Okay, so I'll try to give you a clarity by using which programming language we'll develop the Android applications. Let's take C++. By using C and C++ you can develop the Android applications. By using Java you can develop the Android applications, and by using .NET you can develop the Android applications. By using C, C++, Java, and by using .NET we can develop what? Android applications we can develop. So out of these three technologies, C, C++, Java and .NET, so which one is preferred? Which one is preferred to develop the Android applications? See, officially Android is giving the support for developing the applications only by using C++, C++, and Java. Officially Android is giving the support for these two technologies, C++ and Java. It is not giving any support for developing the applications using what? .NET. It is giving the support only for C++ and Java. So if you are developing the applications using a C++, if you are developing the applications using C++, Android is providing some supporting tools and libraries as NDK. So we termed as native development kit, or in short we called as NDK, native development kit. If you are developing the applications using C and C++, Android is providing some supporting tools and libraries as what? NDK. And if you are developing the applications using Java, we require some supporting tools and libraries. That supporting tools and libraries you will get in SDK. For C, C++, NDK, native development kit. In case of Java, SDK, software development kit. Officially Android is giving the support for these two technologies only, these two programming languages. We'll discuss what about this .NET. Okay, out of these two technologies, C, C++ and Java, which one is preferred? Let's take my case. I'm very comfortable to write the code using Java, okay, because Java is simple. How can I say it's a simple? Because we don't have a concepts like pointers and the templates, no manual memory allocation, like these kind of concepts are not available in case of Java, right? And it's a object oriented programming language, and we are having some library support is also there. So because of all these features, majority of the people in the market prefer to develop the applications using what? Java. Okay, Android is giving the support for these two technologies. Majority of the people prefer to develop the applications by using what? Java programming language. Okay, so that's why initial versions of Android is given the support for C, C++ and Java. Now Android is giving officially it is giving the support only for Java. It's not giving any support for C and C++ now. What about this .NET? See, you say it right, it's a simple programming language, object oriented programming language, ready made library support. So these things you can find even in .NET also, you can find these things, right? So .NET is also object oriented programming. It's simple to write the code and all. But here there are few drawbacks are there with this .NET. So let's see what are the drawbacks if we choose this .NET as a programming language for Android application development. Okay. So as per my experience, like I identified a framework for developing the applications by using this .NET. Okay, the framework is nothing but Mono Android. Okay, there is a framework called Mono Android. So by using this Mono Android framework, we can develop the applications by using .NET we can develop. Okay, let's see what are the drawbacks with this Mono Android or a .NET framework. A Mono Android. Okay, so you can develop the applications by using .NET, you can build the applications by using this Mono Android framework. The first drawback is nothing but this is not officially from Android, because Android is giving the support only for SDK and NDK. This is not officially from Android. So officially Android is not providing any support for developing the applications using .NET. Okay, so there is a third party framework called Mono Android. By using this Mono Android framework, we can develop the applications using what? .NET. But the first drawback is nothing but this is not officially from Android, it's a third party framework. The first drawback is nothing but commercial, meaning we had to purchase this Mono Android framework, we had to purchase to use this Mono Android software. Okay, this is the first drawback. First drawback is what? It is commercial. Second thing is nothing but it's not officially from Android, it's a third party framework. It's a third party framework. So how can I trust this third party framework? See, as a client, okay, so I'm very particular about my data and security. My data should be secured. So we are working on a third party framework. So how can you trust this third party framework? How secure it is? Okay, so second thing is nothing but trust. It's not officially from Android, it's a third party framework. So how can you trust this third party framework? This is a second drawback. So first thing is commercial, second thing is what? Trust. Okay, and the next one is support. Before going to start any project, support is most important. Let's see, for example, I started a project with Mono Android framework as per some of my known people's suggestions, and 50% of the project is completed. Then after that I got a requirement, I don't know how to do that one. So definitely I had to ask my seniors, okay, or I had to post my query in the forums and all. Okay, but here the people who are aware on this Mono Android framework are very less. Very less people are aware of this Mono Android framework. Support is very complex if you are developing the applications using this Mono Android framework. The next one is nothing but updates. The latest updates you will not get. The latest updates you will not get in this Mono Android framework. Like for example, we know that how fastly we are getting the updates in Android, right? Android 5.0, 6.0, now Android N. Okay, so we are getting fastly, we are getting the updates in Android, we are getting quickly, we are getting the updates. But the same updates you will not get immediately, you will not get in this Mono Android framework, because they built a framework by using .NET on top of the Android platform. So definitely it will take some time, okay, so to get those features in this Mono Android framework. Because of these drawbacks, personally, so we will not prefer to choose this Mono Android framework. Okay, and from the same manufacturing company, they released one more framework recently called Xamarin. But this Xamarin is not a native platform. It's a hybrid application framework. It's what? It's a hybrid application. In the coming videos, I'll give you more clarity what exactly native applications and what is hybrid applications. Okay, this is a hybrid application framework, meaning you can develop the applications using Xamarin, okay, and you can deploy the applications in different platforms. You can deploy like Android, iPhone, so Windows and different platforms you can deploy. Okay, so I told you, right, in the coming videos I'll give more clarity on native application development and hybrid application development. Just remember, Xamarin is what? It's one of the hybrid application framework. Okay, we discussed out of these three technologies, C, C++, Java and .NET. So Java is the most preferred and widely used language for developing the Android applications. Okay, next. So if you are developing the applications by using Java programming language, so definitely we require some Java libraries. If you are writing the code using Java programming language, we require what? Java libraries are required. Okay, so Java libraries. If you are developing the applications using Java programming language, we have to import what? Java libraries we have to import. So everything is not possible with Java programming language, meaning why I use the term, because especially let's take interacting with the hardware components is directly not possible with the Java programming language. So internally the Java code has to communicate with the other programming languages, okay, for communicating with the hardware components. I mean, sometimes your Java code will get a requirement of communicating with what? Other programming languages, especially C and C++. Okay, so these other programming languages is called as a native libraries. So even if you are writing the code using Java programming language, sometimes the Java code will take a support of what? A native library support it will take, especially to interact with the hardware components. Even in Java also, we are having a modifier called native modifier. By using that native modifier, we can communicate with other programming language code, we can communicate with the help of that native modifier. Okay, so we require the Java libraries as well as we require the native libraries. One of the best example for this native library is nothing but there is a native library called OpenGLES. What is the library name? OpenGLES is a native library. By using this OpenGLES library, okay, we can display graphics, you can display in Android. So for example, if you want to display any graphics, if you want to display in your Android application, we'll write the code using Java only, but that Java code internally will communicate with this OpenGLES native library for displaying the graphics in Android. Like this, there are some other native libraries are there. Just for example, I given this OpenGLES is one of the native library in Android. Okay, the next component in this Android application development is nothing but application framework. Application framework is a next component of Android. Application framework provides infrastructures for the application developer. Listen once again. Application framework is providing infrastructures for the application developer who is developing the Android applications. It is not providing infrastructures to the user, it is providing infrastructures to the developer. How it is providing the infrastructures is with the help of ready-made libraries. For example, like you want to work with Wi-Fi, you don't write the huge amount of logic to get the Wi-Fi and all. So simply there is a class called Wi-Fi manager, just use that Wi-Fi manager class for working with Wi-Fi. The same time, for example, you want to get your current location you want to get. So you had to write a lot of native logic you had to write just to get the current position, but here in Android simple, like we are having a class called location manager. Like this, everything is a ready-made libraries in case of Android. Application framework is providing those ready-made libraries like Wi-Fi manager, surface manager, a Bluetooth manager. Okay, so next, like everything is a ready-made libraries. As a developer, as an Android developer, just you have to know how to use those ready-made libraries into your application. Okay, so what application framework provides? So application framework provides infrastructures for application developer with the help of ready-made libraries. Application framework provides what? Infrastructures for application developer with the help of ready-made libraries. Okay, we are having a ready-made libraries we are having. So who is providing the ready-made libraries? Application framework. With the help of this application framework, Android application development is simple. Okay, and the next component, the most important component in this architecture, that is nothing but DVM. So DVM is termed as a Dalvik virtual machine. The next component is what? DVM. So DVM is termed as what? Dalvik virtual The next important component is DVM. So DVM is termed as what? Dalvik virtual machine. Okay. So what exactly is DVM? So I hope you guys are aware of JVM, right? So what exactly JVM will do and all. Okay. Just for your idea, I am telling you once again. Okay, what exactly JVM will do. Let's take for example, we'll write what? Java code will write, right? Let's say we'll write the .java file, will write Java code. Okay. Next, after writing the Java code, to whom will submit the Java code? After writing your Java code, we'll submit the Java code, will submit to JDK, will submit the Java code. One of the tool in JDK is nothing but Java C is one of the tool in JDK. We'll submit this .java file, will submit to what? JDK, I mean Java C tool. If you follow the programming, if you follow the Java programming rules, okay, if there is no any errors in your program, the JDK is going to compile and it's going to produce what? .class file it will produce. We call as Java bytecode, right? To execute this Java bytecode, I mean to convert this Java bytecode to a machine understandable format, so we use what? JVM. To say in short, that is what the purpose of JVM. So JVM will take the Java bytecode as input and it will convert that Java bytecode into a machine understandable format with some different states like class loader, memory unit and execution engine. So by using those three components, the .class will convert into what? Into the machine understandable format it will convert. Okay. So here also, I mean the machine understandable format like zeros and ones it will convert. This is what JVM will do, right? So here in Android also we are writing the code by using Java programming language, we are writing the code, right? So why can't we use this JVM? Why we need a separate DVM? So Dalvik virtual machine. Okay. So try to understand here, this JVM is designed for the computer, not for the mobile devices. It's designed for what? Computer. Meaning computer is having heavy RAM capacity, a memory capacity as well as power capacity. But whereas in case of mobile is not having that much power capacity, memory capacity and the RAM capacity. That's why we need a lightweight machine than this Java virtual machine. That's why they customize the JVM. I'm not telling like DVM is completely a new one. They customize the JVM to work on the low power, low memory and the low RAM. That customized JVM is nothing but what? DVM. That customized JVM is nothing but what? DVM. So here, like how the JVM is taking Java bytecode as input, even the DVM also takes what? Java bytecode only as input. DVM also takes Java bytecode only as input. DVM also takes what? Java bytecode only as input. DVM also takes what? Java bytecode only as input. But DVM directly it will not execute the dot class, it will not execute directly. First, DVM is going to convert into its own understandable format. A DVM is going to convert into what? Its own understandable format, that is nothing but .dex. DVM will take the .class file as input, okay, and next it will convert into its own understandable format. It will convert into its own understandable format called .dex. Imagine for your project you created 5000 classes you created. Even though classes are 5000, finally it is going to produce one single .dex file for all the classes. Okay, so all the .class files will be converted into what? A single executable file, that is what? .dex file. So DVM will not execute the Java bytecode directly. So first it is going to convert into its own bytecode format called what? .dex. Then after converting into this .dex file, okay, so first it will convert into what? It will convert into its own bytecode format called .dex. Then it will execute the .dex file, it will execute, meaning again it will take this .dex file, it will take to execute this bytecode, mean DVM bytecode, that is nothing but .dex. Okay, so this is the architecture of Android. This is what? The architecture of Android. Okay, so if you recall the definition of Android, if you recall, it's a mobile platform. This mobile platform consists of what? Operating system, a middleware and key applications. This is what the definition I given for Android. Okay, then after that we see in the Android architecture, we seen this is the architecture of Android. Okay, now here from this architecture, let's see. So now here in this architecture, if you see here, the operating system in Android devices is nothing but Linux is the operating system in Android devices. We seen that one already. Okay, this is what? Operating system. and this application framework and libraries part and DVM is called as, it's a middleware. Application framework, this libraries part and DVM is called as what? It's a middleware. So, application framework, libraries part and DVM is called as what? It's a middleware. And by default with the Android, you will get some applications you will get by default with the Android, like contacts, call logs, settings. Like by default with the Android, you will get some default applications you will get, as well as you can create your own applications also you can create. Okay. So, if you recall the definition, if you recall, it's a mobile platform. This mobile platform contains what? Operating system, middleware and key applications. This is the definition and architecture of Android. We define the definition. We define the definition with the help of Android architecture. We define the definition. Okay. And now in this definition, it's a mobile platform. Now in this definition, I am removing this mobile, I am removing. Why I removed this mobile? Because now Android is a platform. This platform consists of these three things. Why I removed the mobile? Because initially when the Android is launched, that is only specific to mobile devices. But now if you take Android is available in mobiles, tablets, wearable devices like watches and different medical devices. Okay. Android is available in desktops. Okay. Android is available in automobiles. Okay. In different platforms now the Android is available. So that's why, so I'm not using the term called mobile platform. Initially that is only specific to mobile devices. That's why that is the initial definition, Android is a mobile platform. But now that is available in different platforms. That's why I used a term called Android is a platform. This platform consists of what? These three things. Okay. So thank you. In my next video, I'll explain about Android features. I'll explain in the next session. Thank you.